And now we are ready to talk about being a mom, doing it all the way like a boss. I'm even wearing my shirt. I'm going to show y'all the mom, the myth, the legend, Dr. Teran. But guess what?
Seen that shirt.
You saw the shirt, right?
Somewhere I did, yeah. And I was like,
This is what you call sponsored by. Maybe one day I'll have my sponsors. I've been speaking stuff into existence and stuff been happening. But guess
mm-hmm.
what? This is brought to you by Old Navy.
Yeah, that might have been where.
That might have been. Oh my goodness. You guys, guess what? We have a special guest, Miss Christine, I'm sorry, Mrs. Christina Garrett of Mamathon Diaries. Yay!
Yeah, thank you for having me, Dr. Shanae. Put some
Oh my
respect on your
goodness.
name.
I've been telling people how like it's so funny that I truly, it's like depending on who it is, it's like, yeah, call me doctor. Otherwise, it's
Yes,
like it
I'm
is
sure.
what it is. I'm just
Yes,
Shanae. You know, some even people even call me Nay, but it is what it TI is. And
yes.
so we are ready. So first of all, let me just tell you guys a little bit about, well, my situation first. My situation is if y'all see people walking around in the background, like so, or people driving in the background, I'm in a hotel because guess what? I'm a mom. And guess what this session is about? Being a mom and being a
Being a
boss.
mom.
How about that?
Mm-hmm.
So let me tell y'all about Miss Christina Garrett. Okay, let me tell you. First of all, she is not only the founder of Momathon Diaries,
Mm-hmm.
but she is actually like an organization and productivity coach who helps busy women like me empower their discipline and refine their schedules. But she doesn't just do that. She uses the power of like delegation and priority management. I mean, she literally schedules all of us busy women, because I don't know any woman that isn't busy,
Mm-hmm.
from faith.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's some power in this, okay? To
Yes.
streamline your schedules, use it with like practical strategies. And you know, I'm all this is the pop, so it's the pursuit of peace. It has to
Mm-hmm.
make sense, right? But it's supposed to all be for the purpose of getting more done, but doing it strategically so that you're
Mm-hmm.
doing less. You know, that whole work smarter, not harder thing. But she literally, like Mrs. Garrett, literally,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm putting respect on that. Mrs. How about that? Mrs. Christina Garrett leads a global tribe of like not just women, like I said, folks like me. We wise, we out here doing it. We are
Yes.
the moms, the myths, and the legends, okay,
Yes.
to build in the help that we need, you know? So
Mm-hmm.
basically, it's all about making sure that you're taking charge.
Mm-hmm.
Taking charge of your schedule, taking charge of just everything that's just crazy. And I just want to let y'all know, like she got a tribe of divas, so that's why I had to put my glamnetics on today as I ran out the house with my little one screaming at the
Mm-hmm.
door. I had to say, let me make
Mm-hmm.
sure I got enough magnet eyeliner on here.
You so extra.
So extra because I had to be, because you have a tribe of
You are
divas. And I'm going to
crazy.
let her truly tell you a little bit more about herself. But welcome to the pub.
Thank
I'm
you
so
so
glad to have
much.
you.
Thank you for having me. The first time we talked, we just hit it off. So,
Yes.
there's that doesn't happen with everybody, especially for me, or if you're women in leadership, you don't get
Yes.
that synergy with everybody. But we got on the Zoom call and it was like magic. And so, we've been looking forward to this
Absolute,
time for a while.
absolute magic. Let me just say
Yes,
that.
absolute
Okay.
magic.
Absolute magic. So when it's all said and done, folks, we about to go in. I want to tell you guys, I got to
Mm-hmm.
read it off because, I'm a mama. So it's not like this stuff just be stuck on the dome. So listen,
Mm-hmm.
we're talking about you're trying to, and I'm going to say it the way that it came to me in my head, even though I was trying to be phonetically correct. It
Mm-hmm.
said, you trying to do what? With how
Too
many
much.
kids?
A lot. 5.
A lot. So that's what we're talking about today. And it really is just
Mm-hmm.
the month of August. I was about to say September.
We're
I
not
repeat
there
that.
yet.
But the whole title of this month is really we're going to be talking about the busy woman's guide to peace. This is
Mm-hmm.
the pursuit of peace.
Yes.
But we need special stuff to
Mm.
figure it out because we're always giving and doing stuff. And so
Mm-hmm.
this is what you call unscripted
Mm-hmm.
Dr.
Yes.
Teran with
Yes.
the illustrious Mrs. Christine Garrett of Momathon Diaries.
Oh, I'm so
Please
glad to be
tell us
here.
a bit more about yourself, your journey, and let's just jump right into it.
Well, the Mamathon movement really stemmed back from when I was a mom of 3. When my son was your son's age, I found out I was expecting. We went to the doctor. What's hilarious? God has a sense of humor because I told my husband I only wanted to be pregnant one more time. My husband said, but I want 3 kids. So the way that God solved that problem was we went to the doctor with our almost 2-year old, and the ultrasound tech is looking at the sonogram. She says, "How many do
Mm,
you see?" I said, "Are those eyes? Can you see the baby's eyes
yeah.
already?" And she said, "No, honey, those are babies." And then we practically passed out for a while. When we
Oh
came
my
back to, I was a mom with 3 kids, 2 and under. And
Oh
so
my
I literally
gosh.
went from, mommying and thinking that I was doing okay
Oh my
to being in
goodness.
fast forward what seemed like all the time.
Poor
So once
baby.
the twins got older, maybe age 1, age 2, I really wanted to find practical ways to feel like myself again.
Yeah.
Because when we're always taking care of children and we're nurturing and giving, sometimes we do feel like we've gone through an identity crisis
Yeah.
because you've gone from woman, then you've adjusted to being a wife if you're a wife, but then that
Hmm.
adjustment to being a mom is one that really goes up against every element of your femininity,
Yes.
So what I like to tell the ladies that God calls you by name. He calls you Shanae, or maybe he calls you Nay. I don't know. He calls me Chris. He doesn't call us by babe or mom
Mm,
or all the other names that our family members call us or our friends know us by. He
hmm.
knows us intimately. So
Yes.
what we have to do after we've hit this point in a journey is to continue with that search for God, who are you saying that I am for this season of my life? And
Right.
for all the Mamathon divas, I think that and this may be too deep too early, but
Just go for it.
I think there's a worldly stigma behind hustling and grinding
Yeah.
where we begin to look at the people that God has blessed us to be stewardship over or
Hmm.
companions with. We begin to look at them like they're keeping us from being our best selves, and
Wow.
that is the
Okay.
hustle mindset, what I'm saying, like what the
Hmm.
world begins to teach.
Hmm.
And so we're like, go get it, go do this. Oh girl, he wants you to lay down at night. Tell him that you want to grow your business and all this other kind. It's like, no, he don't want the bed cold. That's why he marries you. And
Right?
so
Like,
we have to adjust. Like we have to figure out how to do both. That's what my t-shirt
yeah.
says, even though it's reversed. I do both. I
Yeah.
hustle and I homemade. And it's okay for
Yes.
me to be both of those women. And
Yeah.
so for the Mamathon mission, we really surround our women with the techniques that it takes to be a woman in all the full senses that means, to be a
Yeah.
wife or love your man or your partner well, and to mother those children without feeling like you're a martyr for the cause. And
Right.
somehow in between all of that, we're supposed to build dreams. And if you're not 6 and 7 figures yet, you are failing and all these things. Then
Right.
they throw homeschooling at you. If you're not an algebra genius like me, you're just trying to
Oh,
pull it together. You're
you know
just
I'm
trying
gonna
to
make
keep
that
it
a sticky
together.
note. Like,
It's
call
okay not
Christina.
to be an algebra genius when you get there. Yeah.
Oh
So
my
it's
god.
okay for me to know my lane well. It's all right for me to be able to walk in what I know, and still love myself and nurture myself and practice self-care in my pursuit of peace.
Wow. So this is the thing. You And like again, folks like me, that's why I was like, I gotta have you on there because it's like I get like a 2-for-1 deal when we're
Mm-hmm.
sitting here.
Yes.
It's like, how can you truly balance it all? And can you? Like, what does that really look like?
Okay, so really balance is, they'll say balance is a myth. I like the term sometimes juggling, or, there are a
Mm-hmm.
million terms, but we tell our ladies that it's all right to be a multitasker.
Yeah.
I don't know any woman other than the times where I'm sitting here with us, doing an interview or a live or just connecting with my,
Yes.
audience. I don't know any other times where we're just still doing absolutely nothing else. And it takes
Yeah.
a lot of effort to make sure that we are that way. And so I
Yeah.
just want to normalize and celebrate that we are women who juggle. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's
Yeah.
okay for you to, some days I'm cooking dinner and exercising,
Mm-hmm. Wait a minute.
or,
What?
so like in between the
So
sets, like that 30 seconds, you go stir the pot, and then you go back
what?
and you just do it again, you know.
Oh
I
my
don't know
goodness.
anybody, that doesn't, and you do it too in your own
Yeah.
way,
Yeah.
where it's like,
Yeah.
okay, son, yeah, I'm gonna sit here and do this puzzle with you, and you do the puzzle, and mommy's gonna check her email or send this invoice or do all the
Yeah.
things. I don't
Yeah.
know who,
Yeah.
women who are not multitasking, not boss women. You know what I mean? It's always one
Yeah.
thing and then it's another. But I
Yeah.
think that one core principle that has helped me, especially during the pandemic and all,
Uh-huh.
is learning how to turn it off at a certain time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had to turn it off at a
Yeah.
certain time.
That's what's hard because again, you're going and going and going, and you do need a certain momentum, so to speak,
Mm-hmm.
to
Yeah.
keep it going. Because I know, like for me, and mind you, I'm someone that, as I had shared with you when we were talking, I'm someone that also has a medical condition. And so it's
Mm-hmm.
like, if I'm going to do something, if I'm going to do all that multitasking,
Mm-hmm.
I need to keep going. And by a
Yeah.
certain time in the day, it's like if it's not done,
It's
uh,
not.
it's probably not gonna happen. The most time that
Yeah.
I have is let me get a book that I know I
Mm-hmm.
read 50, 11 times,
Yes.
that I memorize, that I'm reading to my son to go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yes.
but when it's all said and done, if you're stopping and you're juggling, and even if I were to say this, juggling it all and maintaining my energy,
Mm-hmm.
how does that fit into it?
Okay, so let's think about how we spend our energy. Okay,
Okay.
I call this watering plants. I don't know if you can see behind me. I'm a
Yes,
plant person.
they're
This is just
gorgeous.
two of the 25 that are spread out throughout my house. Okay.
Those are gorgeous.
So I'm a plant person. I
Yeah.
would much rather pot and repot my plants and stare
Hmm.
at them and water them, and that speaks to my soul and it's nurturing and I just love
Yep.
it. Wonderful.
Yep.
But nobody is paying me to water plants. No one is paying me to water those plants. Okay,
Right.
so watering
Right.
plants is synergistic with
Mhm.
all the other things that we do that alleviate pressure from us, pressure to perform. So let's
Mm.
say that, especially for
Okay.
women who are business women, you run your own business, you're
Yeah.
the person in charge. If you work a 9 to 5 or
Hmm.
whatever, if you
Yeah.
answer to someone, whoever you are, okay, you
Yeah.
have some
Yeah.
kind of work life associated with you, most likely.
Yeah.
Even if you're a stay-at-home mom, you working.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
there are certain things that we go to do that there's no for real reward. It's not bringing the biggest return for us.
Yeah.
I often say that unless you operate a cleaning service, no one is
Yeah.
paying you to vacuum. No one is paying you to, do all the things. I know laundry has to get done. I understand it, but laundry doesn't pay invoices either. So what do I need to do throughout my day? What is level 1, 2, 3, 4? Those
Yeah.
top things that are going to bring me closest to my goals. And so inadvertently, your subconscious may avoid calling those potential clients because you're afraid they're
Mhm.
going to say no. You may think
Yeah.
that, doing what your boss asked you is going to take too long. So I'm going to go over here and do something that takes less time, but it's not
Right.
really at the top of the priority. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So there's no such thing as ever getting everything done. But
Yeah.
what is the biggest priority as it comes to dealing with our home life, our business life,
Yeah.
our families? And so I may say, oh, yeah, I need to scrub all this and do all the things, but that
Yeah.
doesn't pay bills. So what is it that I need to do instead of that? And then
Yeah.
hopefully I can promise you that a husband, when the bills are paid, where y'all doing it together or however, he's been well sexed, okay? Because you saved your energy for sex instead of doing all, oh, I did all the laundry. He don't care about the laundry. He will wash
Yeah.
his own clothes if he's getting some. So the whole moral of the story is what's on the top of the list of priorities? What's on the top of the list? I would
What's
much
on the
rather
top of
water
the list?
plants. I would much rather water plants, but nobody pays me to do that. Some days
Yeah.
my house is half dirty, but my husband walks in the door. I say, "Hey, babe." He said, "Oh, good. She's in a good mood today. The kids did not run her away today." You know what I mean? And I can be the best version of Christina. He doesn't care about the dishes. He doesn't care about the Cheerios in the floor, all those things. If it
Right.
comes in, his wife is his wife,
Yeah.
And so a
Yeah.
lot of times we think about juggling, balancing, multitasking. The bigger
Mm-hmm.
question is what's at the top of the list, and what can I delegate to my family
Mm-hmm.
members? What can I pay somebody to do? If
Yeah.
you don't operate a cleaning service, pay somebody to come in and do it
Right.
for you if you can. Or if you have school age children who can play on tablets, they can vacuum.
Yeah.
Delegate,
And
but those things that you can't delegate is what you have to put first.
and I love the fact that there's the sense of balance because that's the whole point of it, right?
Yeah.
The whole point is to balance it out so that
Yes.
when it's all said and done, you're not, and this is something that I struggle with. Those of us that have that perfectionist, mindset, like everything has
Mm-hmm.
to be perfect.
Yeah.
Things have to be just right, and it's like when it's all said and done, the ultimate thing is moving forward,
Mm-hmm.
sane, and it even goes into how, and I really love the fact that you're talking in this lane because ultimately we say multitasking, but there's some things that you just can't do well multitasking. I do
Yes.
believe that there is such thing as multitasking
Mm-hmm.
because I can literally, if my son, for instance, if it's like he's wanting those little bristle blocks, so
Mm-hmm.
it's like he wants a plane, and so he gonna do whatever he's gonna do while you're sitting alongside him, and I can be putting together a little plane and listening to a podcast that's gonna help enhance, you know, whatever in regards to my
Yes.
business and
Yes.
just that
Growth.
intellectual growth that maybe I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't have time to do later on because
Mm-hmm.
he is wanting me to read. And so
Yeah.
listening to a podcast really, or TED Talk and also trying to read that you can't do well.
Yes.
But it's really about how do you minimize that pressure
Mm-hmm.
that you put on yourself to
Mm-hmm.
be perfect, the
Mm-hmm.
pressure that you put on yourself to be like, you know what, um, I got to do it all. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I know that I've been in that place too of, okay, well, the house has to be clean. I'm going to be sane and have a smile and
Yes.
have dinner. And it's like when it's all said and done, out of four of those things, one might be working, which
Mm-hmm.
is I'm sane. Or I, you coming in and I'm coming like, what you
Yeah.
want? What
Yeah.
you want?
Yeah. Right.
Like,
Why are you here?
can I
I
be in
I
my
can I
own
live
shit?
here.
Oh my
No, you
goodness.
can.
Let me tell you, it was like an out of body experience for me
Uh-huh.
when I would try to like have my like, okay, I'm breastfeeding, right? When I had
Mm-hmm.
my 2-year-old, it's like he was breastfed, and it was like my husband would come home, and it's like, hey, how you doing? And it's just like
Yeah.
one time, let me tell you, I was
Yeah.
like, um, can I have a moment? Because I haven't felt in my skin since
Mm-hmm.
I got pregnant. Like
Yeah.
I'm an
Yeah.
individual, and I
Yeah.
don't feel like I am because I'm
Yeah.
always like this, or
Yes.
other side, or
Mm-hmm.
hold and then bouncing while I'm doing this, and it's just
Yes.
like, give me a second. And
Yeah.
when it's all said and done, like you said, what's the priority? No one
Mm-hmm.
is able to give me that time.
Mm-hmm.
No one.
So one of the things that I continue to infuse, especially women who are wives and their moms, and they have all of us are
Mhm.
individuals, right? So, like you said,
Yes.
I haven't felt like myself since I got pregnant. My mother-in-law yesterday was joking about us having another baby. I said, "Ma, I love God. Please do not make me cuss on this phone. I can't have no more kids. I just can't do it. I
Oh,
can't have not one more
oh,
child."
yeah.
But I
Did you
love
just
my
say no,
five.
not one more time?
Not one more.
I was gonna say, oh, I thought you said one more. I was about to say,
No,
oh,
not one more
okay.
baby through this
Look,
here
I was
body.
gonna say,
If somebody drop
okay.
one off at my house, I might keep the baby. But if it had to come out of my womb, I cannot. So the moral of the story is, though, being able to communicate your needs in a way that your significant other can receive and
Yes.
respond to.
Yeah.
Receive it and respond to, the same way that your love language is insert it here. That's the
Yeah.
best way to speak to you.
Yeah.
Every person has a way, a time, a meal,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Where, like, listen,
Yes.
baby, I made your favorite enchiladas tonight. I need to talk to you. I need a day off,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And to express that, I was working with a client one time, and she was like, my husband just isn't hearing me. I said, no, you need to
Mm-hmm.
make him something really good to eat, put it in front, say, baby, I love you. I love our children, but if I don't get a break, I'm going to have a psychotic break. And then you
You're
look at him,
using I statements. I love it. I love it.
and you look him dead in his eyes like, I really don't want to have a breakdown. I need some time off.
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
gonna look like, what? Okay, this is very direct. This is
Yeah.
very straight to the point. And 9 times out of 10, you married that man. Whoever these ladies are listening tonight, you married
Yeah.
that man because you liked him, you
Yeah.
loved him, you genuinely, even despite all of the hiccups and rough things that you went through in your relationship and all these
Yes.
things, the highs
Yes.
and lows that we all go through, okay?
Yes.
You married him because you
Yes.
genuinely believed that he had your best interest at heart when
Mm-hmm.
you married him. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? That he was looking out for you, for your family, that he would make an
Mm-hmm.
excellent father.
Mm-hmm.
All of these, this is why you gave him the sex. That's what Kev on stage would say. That's why you that's why you did what you did, girl. I
Look,
locked them on in there.
I just want to say for the record that we did say this was not kid friendly. This was
Oh
for
yeah, we
adults.
checked that box,
And
the
both of
YouTube
us on
box.
here are married. So it's thank you,
Yes.
Jesus. We're, being appropriate. Okay.
Yes, we're being
Just want to
appropriate.
say.
Amen.
Just want to say.
Amen. So the
I
moral of
should
the
have gave that
story
disclaimer
is,
in the beginning.
listen, I'm going to tell everybody, if you're a mama, you done the sex. So, so the moral of the story is
Oh,
being able
Jesus.
to speak to him in a way that he can receive, right?
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
using your tone in a way that is building.
Yes.
Your attitude isn't, I
Yes.
can't stand you nor these kids and I'm
Yes.
leaving. I have had those days where I just walked
Yes.
out though. I ain't gonna lie. But
Yes.
for the
Yes.
most part, when I need a break or I need
Yeah.
to step away, or my husband sees that my eye is starting to twitch and all
Oh
this crazy,
no.
like, baby, listen, just go for a run, go run to the city,
Yeah.
30 minutes away and get ice cream or whatever those things are that you need to do to take
Mm-hmm.
care of you.
Yeah.
And we have to normalize in husbands and wives and in
Mm-hmm.
children that it's okay to be left alone,
Yeah. Yeah. And when
and
it's
to
all
train
said
them to do that.
and when it's all said and done, you're doing that for the sake of balance. We're not saying one takes, and even when you're saying the priorities, and you writing that down, for some that's necessary. For some, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
you just need to let some things go. Like you said, like I'll get to the the the, the plants, the
Mm-hmm.
flowers,
Yes.
like they got a little bit of time before they start trying to get brown on the edge. So
Yes.
they can get it watered tomorrow, but you
Yeah.
just like shift it. And
Yeah.
it's okay to be organized. And I just want to stress that, because some people, whether it's we do it to ourselves, or it's the spouse or the partner, or even family, if someone isn't married, if someone is
Mm-hmm.
a single mom, whatever the case may be, from those internal thoughts outward, it's like, oh, well, if I do this later, I'm saying it's not a big priority. That's not always the case. When you are
Yeah.
prioritizing, you want to realize that the priority is based around what needs to be done today. Are there any fires if
Mm-hmm.
this doesn't get done, will there be a
Yeah.
situation? If
Yes.
there won't be a situation, then it can just
Be rolled over.
be rolled over. For
Mm-hmm.
some, they like to hear that concept of put it on the parking lot, you
Mm-hmm.
know,
I like
put it
that.
on the parking lot. I'll
Yeah.
get to it. That way
Yeah.
you are saying, you know what, and that's another thing too, communication.
Mm-hmm.
When
Yeah.
you are prioritizing, and again, like you said, there is always that intention that when it's said and done, your needs are 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 important, and you expect that your loved ones feel the same way.
Mm-hmm.
However, we're not mind readers, and neither are they.
Yeah.
So the best thing that you can do is learn how to communicate. So I know you had touched on this a little bit earlier about just being upfront and honest. Can you talk a little bit even about that transaction of whether it's a partner, just a loved one, a roommate, a friend? When you're saying, okay, I'm a mom, I'm taking care of these kids, I'm a boss,
Mm-hmm.
I may even have a 9 to 5 where I'm also a
Mm-hmm.
boss there,
Yes. Yeah.
and making sure that you're speaking up for yourself so that you can get to that place of finding that peace zone. Like, what are
Mm-hmm.
your thoughts?
Okay, so one of the things that I think of is to make it easy. Okay, make it
Mm-hmm.
easy for you to leave. So, for example, every year, my best friend Leona, who also is a mom of five, every
Okay,
year for the last
okay.
5 years, we have how this, yep, 5 to 6 years, we have taken a momcation. Okay, now, now
All
if
I'm gonna
you
say
can
is
imagine.
you need to take me with you. Keep on going,
Listen,
but
come on down to Atlanta in September. So, so
my
here's the
sister
thing.
live in Atlanta.
Listen, we not playing. Like, I'm being so serious. My ladies, I thought about canceling, and my girls were like, "If you host a conference at your house, we're just coming to your house."
Hmm.
They're like,
We
"Cause we
need
gotta
a
leave these
break.
kids. We have to leave these
We need
kids."
a
And I
break.
was like, "Okay, like if you guys are coming, I'm gonna plan it." So,
Yeah.
even in the midst of everything, we gonna put on some masks and we're gonna go
Put on your
hiking and
mask,
we leave it. We leave
get your
it.
hand sanitizer.
Yes. So the moral of the story is every year, my best friend and I, we take some kind of momcation. The last
Yeah.
4 years has been for the Mamathon conference. But the 2 years prior to that, either one time I
Hmm.
was pregnant, one time she was pregnant. But our husbands have supported by keeping all the kids 6, 7, 8 now. Yeah, now it would be 10 kids. Keeping all the kids while we go away for the weekend. Okay. So
Okay.
here's the key to leaving home. Number one, you have to make it easy.
Write that
Okay.
down.
So if you're going, listen,
Okay.
you got to make it easy. So, and what we're gonna do here is we're gonna say, well, he should want to keep the kids. Mhm. He should want to do all the things that fathers do. He should
Hmm.
want to. We don't want to do it as moms. I don't want to
Yeah.
feed you. I don't want to, get up and clean up. None of these things are items on my list of things that I want
Hmm.
to do. Okay.
Yeah.
So here's
Yeah.
what I try to do to make it easy for me to leave. All right.
Hmm.
I will make my husband a bomb dinner. Let's say I'm going, sometimes the mama times we go to the movies or just leave the house, group of ladies, hang out, go get food. We're leaving. We This is what we
Look,
do. We say bomb kids.
men, take note. Take note.
Listen, we leave. So if my husband, there were a couple times where I made like hot dogs and French fries, and he would say,
Yeah.
"Whenever you have ladies' night out, I get the worst dinners." And I was like, I said, "You know what? My
Check.
bad."
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm rushing out the door. Yay, I'm
You
leaving.
did.
I'm
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah.
So when I leave now, I make him whatever it is that he really loves to eat. The
Put it
kids
up on
can
the
eat,
board.
lick the floor for all I care. But Sugar Daddy, who probably came home early so I could leave on time, okay? He
Yeah.
gets oxtails and rice with cabbage or whatever it is that he wants. Make him something good and then
Yeah.
give those kids that melatonin gummy, send them off to sleep, make it easy for dad to
Oh
chill.
my goodness,
Because
you
in
are dropping
reality,
nuggets right here.
In
Oh,
reality, he does not want to hear your mouth about how tired you are, how you need a night off. Go get the night. You stay
yeah.
here, watch the game, hear your wings, baby. I love you, sugar
Oh,
daddy. And when I come home, step number 2 is you drop it like it's hot. All right. Now you should, of
oh
course,
my
we don't
God.
always feel like this is what your flesh say, and this is what your girlfriends who are single say. They
Yeah.
say, well, you shouldn't have to do all that to get a night off. You shouldn't have to do all of these things. But
Hmm.
don't men bring flowers? Don't men do just a little something extra to say, you know what, baby, you're mine, and I thank you for
Hmm.
what you do? And don't we love when we get cards? Don't we
Yeah,
love when we get those extra
we love
adorations?
the
For
roses.
men, for a
Yeah.
lot of husbands, they just want to get some with just a little bit of extra sugar on it. You know what I mean?
And
It
the thing is, we
doesn't.
want that. And
Yes, yes.
and even to take it a little bit to the side just for a
Mm-hmm.
second, when it comes down to it, everybody, not just us. And I think that it's important that as we take care of ourselves and we feel better, we don't feel, and this is a message for the men and the women, just so you know, disclaimer. When we feel better, we do better.
Yes, yes.
So when it's all said and done, like, yes, men, we want the random flowers, not just when
Yeah.
something went awry. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I need some white cata lilies,
Yes.
mixed in with some roses,
Hint, hint.
and,
Yeah.
hint, hint. And then
Hint,
it's
hint.
like, okay, I want this, but then the way it makes me feel, and then think about how it feels when you're stressed. So,
Mm-hmm.
women, think about how it feels when you're
Yeah.
stressed. It may not have anything to do with the relationship, anything to do with the kids. It may have to do with work. We're talking about our women that are on a marathon,
Mm-hmm.
mamathons,
Yes.
okay? And we're just going and going and going, and we just need to be filled back up with
Mm-hmm.
the adoration, with the attention, and we just pour it out. Like, whatever
Mm-hmm.
is your, I'll say this, whatever is your love language,
Mm-hmm.
um, when it's all said and done, the men want it too.
Yeah.
And it's almost like this cycle when you are in that relationship. And I want to be clear, we're talking about marriage,
Mm-hmm.
but also for those that aren't married, that are single moms for
Mm-hmm.
whatever reason, and they're dealing with this too. And how do I get that support from my mom?
Mm-hmm.
I know I often ask her to watch my kids, or my
Mm-hmm.
sister, the aunt or the
Yeah.
friend. And it's just like, girl, what you want?
One of the
Mom, what
things,
you want? How can we work it out to where there's a balance? Because
yeah,
ultimately, the end goal is I can do better when I'm better, right?
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I'll add to that, is taking responsibility. So this was something
Hmm.
that really helped me,
I like that.
in my relationship with my husband, in my relationship with my in-laws, you know what I mean? And
Hmm.
all of these dynamics where maybe the family members kept other people's kids,
Hmm.
but
Yeah.
I had the turbo twins, right? I had the turbo
They said
twins.
I ain't keeping two of them
We're
at the
not
same time.
signing up. All of a sudden, everybody's too busy. Oh no, I'm too old to keep them. Oh no, no, no.
Oh,
Okay,
oh, my
listen.
hip.
Look, my head. I know I had the turbo twins. I get it. So for a while, I'll be a little salty. You know what I'm saying? And
Oh,
and we
yeah,
can be resentful to whoever.
yeah,
For
yeah,
whoever. So one of
yeah.
the things that rolling from those experiences even to
Hmm.
now,
Yeah,
we have the ability to design our own lives. Okay, we're
yeah.
allowed to design our own lives, our present day, our
Hmm.
destiny, all those things.
Hmm.
Brian Tracy will say, if it's to be, it's up to me, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So if
yeah.
I am salty and it's hindering on my relationship with my mother, sister,
Not
best
that down.
friend, all these people, husband, whoever. Okay, so you know what? My husband works on Saturdays. So when I go away for the conference weekend, how am I going to be mad at him for not taking off work to watch the kids? You
Yeah.
already know that this is the family schedule. You already know
So
that you're,
again, where's the priority?
yes,
To
yes.
like, yeah, I love it. I
So
love it.
here's
Yeah.
so here's where I'm going. Make it easy on you. Take
Hmm.
responsibility that these are your children. You did the sex, you had
Yeah.
the fun, they're yours. And even and even if it's with your husband or certain expectations, make it
Hmm.
easy. So you may have to hustle a little extra, sis,
Yeah.
to pay for that sitter.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
got to get a sitter for all of conference weekend, for
Yeah.
all day Friday, all day Saturday. My
Yeah.
husband's home on Sundays.
Yeah.
I got to
Yeah.
take responsibility. This is my thing.
Yeah.
If you want to go out and have fun, that's your thing. And you have
Yeah.
to have time away from your kids.
Yeah.
So you need to own responsibility that nobody else has to take care of
Right.
them. And your husband, if he's working, it's not even
Yeah.
his responsibility at that moment that all of a sudden you want to
Yeah.
go out and do something fun. And now you have an
Yeah.
attitude or you're upset. Get the sitter. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Make it easy. Just do what
Yes.
you need to do to step away
Yeah.
and not let it impact all your other relationships.
And there's even intentionally the planning.
Yes.
Okay, we get it when it's something last minute, and your girlfriends, especially those that are single,
Yes.
they can do a lot of stuff that's last minute. But those of us that are moms, we can be.
I need to
that's
plan this a
let
month
me
in
not
advance.
even say that, because some people are out here struggling for real. So my
Yeah.
apologies in advance. But seriously, it's known that
Mm-hmm.
moms have to plan, because we plan around the kids' mood, their poop cycle, their eat cycle,
Yes.
every
Yes.
cycle, their
Napping.
tantrum cycle,
Yep.
because we know it's about to be time for a nap. We do all of that planning.
Mm-hmm.
So again, like you said, I love it. Take responsibility, because
Mm-hmm.
again, pursuit of peace, the pop. What are you doing? We can be
Mm-hmm.
on here offering all kinds of gems.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that you're going to do it. But
Yeah.
if you take responsibility and do it intentionally,
Mm-hmm.
that's what we're talking about. Intentionally organizing, intentionally scheduling, putting some
Yeah.
structure on it. And if you know that you're an extrovert and you got to be out often,
Mm-hmm.
granted it's the pandemic, but you can plan these things. Hey, every other week, this is what
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try to do. And I'm
Yeah.
going to have my A, B, C, and XYZ plan just
Mm-hmm.
in case.
Just in case.
Like somebody that you text and like, I haven't heard from so and so, so yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
might need you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever it is, regardless of your situation, of how stable this person was, your babysitter, you have a babysitter or you have a nanny,
Mm-hmm.
that would be nice one day to have. But if you
Dang.
don't have that,
Yeah.
even your nanny could be like, I'm sick,
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
coming. And what, you gonna be
Yeah.
mad because they sick? And then, oh, my plans all real. And then you got an
Yeah.
attitude, and then it just affects the whole house.
Mm-hmm.
But being able to learn by doing it and
Mm-hmm.
practicing it, because
Yeah.
I'm big on setting precedents for a habit,
Mm-hmm.
because it all sounds nice, but until you consistently try it, work out the kinks so that you have
Yeah.
your sure fit A, B, and C plans,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be a wash and you're going to be upset. And like you
Yeah.
said, like, that's so important. You end up getting building up resentment
Yeah.
because you don't have it. But something that I love that you had mentioned, that I wanted to bring out here is, when it's all said and done, what is God saying is important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What is God
Yeah.
saying is, like, how do you pull in God into the conversation to say, I may not have the mindset for this, maybe for whatever reason. People have
Mm-hmm.
chaos in their head, pandemic, it's pandemic. So I'm
Yeah.
walking around here like this, like everything going crazy. But
Mm-hmm.
what is important? How do I need to ground myself? One thing for sure is God says, be anxious for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, well, what is bringing that anxiety on? And if I can't figure it out, who are you going to get that source of clarity, how to manipulate the situation in a way to
Mm-hmm.
transform your situation, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
when it's all said and done, we can't have folks getting up to the point where they burned out.
Right, absolutely. And so
So
here, one thing that I love, but what you said, when we're thinking of what God says is important, right? One
mhm,
day you will not be here. We
yeah.
pray that we'll be 99 and we'll just blow away like on Avengers Infinity War, right? We hope that we'll be old as dust and we'll just fade away, one day when we finally go. But you don't know when you're going to go,
Right,
right?
right. You don't.
so
You don't.
so here's the thing. One day God is going to ask you, did you take care of X, Y, and Z? And most likely at the top of that list is going to be your family.
Yeah. Yeah.
We can say, and it's kind of laughable, oh, we're living our purpose, all this like real illustrious, almost makes you feel like you float above the floor. Everything is a prophetic move,
Yeah.
all this kind of stuff. But you better prophesy that laundry done. You better, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes everything is so
You
spiritual,
still
so
got a job
hyper
to do.
spiritual
You still
that
got
we
a
have
job to do.
to, Proverbs chapter 14 is one of my favorite scriptures,
Mm-hmm.
because verse 1 says a wise woman builds her house, but a foolish one tears it down with her own hands, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then when you go down to like verse 4, it's an agriculture type scripture, but it took me a second and it kind of clicked in my mind. And I don't
Mm-hmm.
have the exact phrasing, but it says something related to if you have an oxen, right,
Mm-hmm.
you will have to clean the stable. You can avoid cleaning the stable if you don't have an oxen, but without the oxen and the dirty stable, you will
Mm-hmm.
get no harvest.
It's all about stewardship.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
stewardship. It's
Yeah.
like one, if you can't look, this is even, and I know you know this because I'm sure your
Mm-hmm.
husband talked about it being in the ministry.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't take care of home,
What is you doing? What you doing?
like I don't even know what else to put to that because it's just like
Yeah.
if you haven't,
Yeah.
there's nothing else that can come next. Like what you are doing at home and in your household. And again, for those that are single, they're single parents, they're
Mm-hmm.
still on this, they're still writing their Mamathon diary.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
They're doing this, but when it's all said and done, if you have no husband, no spouse, no partner, nothing like that, and you have the kid or kid, you then have to take responsibility of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Take care of yourself because
Yeah.
when it's all said and done, those kids can't watch themselves.
Yeah. That's
If
so true.
you off mentally, you stressed out, you're burned out, because
Mm-hmm.
I am doing a course on burnout, okay? If
Mm-hmm.
you are burned out, you are not good for anybody else because one of the
Yeah.
biggest signs of burnout is a lot of the symptoms that you start to list off when it comes down to depression
Mm-hmm.
and not
Yeah.
even caring. You
Yeah.
lose
Yeah.
interest in things that you were previously interested in.
Yeah.
You're, sitting up there not doing and performing as well. So if you have kids that are, this is your job. This is the job that God gave you to take care
Mm-hmm.
of kids. And
Yeah.
you can't do that stressed out. You can't do that spazzing off because then what are you doing? Perpetuating a cycle of anxiety and
Mm-hmm.
stress, or for
Yeah.
some, unfortunately, abuse.
Yeah.
No, you need to
Yeah.
take responsibility and say, you know what? It's not being selfish. It is
Mm-hmm.
being in a space of self love and self
Mm-hmm.
care. That's what it's
Absolutely.
about.
Absolutely. And when we're thinking about, what God says is important, one
Mm-hmm.
thing that is key is number one, like I said, you will not always be here. So one day
Mm-hmm.
God will ask you, what did you do with the things that I gave you to steward over? But
Yeah.
number two is your family is going to be left behind after you're gone.
Yeah.
Right. So, what do I want them to say about me
Yeah.
after I am gone? So, when I'm thinking about the moms who are now homeschooling and
Yeah.
they're frazzled and all these things, it's like, well, wait a second. I was telling another girl who also has 5 kids. So, you better watch
Yeah.
your circle because I got everybody I know got a lot of children. So, anyway, but, we were
I
talking
wish I
about her
had a
home
beep.
disconnect. So, one of she has 5 children. She's starting a homeschooling journey. And I was
Hmm.
just emphasizing relationship and respect over education every
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if I can say, between me and my husband and me and my
Hmm.
children, we emphasize having a healthy relationship.
Hmm.
Not me being able to teach you everything and always being right or all of these things.
Yeah.
But in reality, my kids are going to unfold my story
Yeah.
when they grow up and they get married and they have kids. What do I
Yes.
want them to repeat? You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Are they going to need therapy to get rid of it? Or are they going to say, man,
Right.
you know what, my mom, she would stop what she was doing and do this. Or we would
Yeah.
just go out and have fun, just go hiking or just go do random stuff. She would cancel school
Yeah.
quick. And if it was a beautiful day outside, and we would just go enjoy
Yeah.
ourselves.
Yeah.
I've been one of those neurotic moms where literally I have a picture of a spoon and a paper clip. I talk about it in my home organization. And so I had a picture of a spoon and a paper clip. It was on the floor. And this was years ago, I went off. And I was like, y'all don't keep nothing clean. Y'all don't respect me. It was like a whole breakdown. And I stopped and laughed at myself and took a picture of the spoon and paper. I think it was like a rubber band. It was like 3 tiny little things
Wow.
put together. It was probably a toddler playing with it on the floor. And but I was like, y'all don't ever keep anything. I've been cleaning all day, just crazy. And so I have to learn how to tone it down. So,
Bring it down a
I
notch,
had to
sis.
learn how
Bring
to
it
take
down.
a deep breath, and adjust your expectations,
Yeah.
because your kids will repeat who you are
Yeah.
and how you talk to them and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. You see yourself in your children. And so
Yeah.
what we want to do is create a legacy, that
Mm-hmm.
shows the beauty of human relationships and connection, and that they saw their parents love on each other.
Yeah.
That I told them it's okay for you to step away if you don't feel like being bothered. Just go in my room and sit on my bed for a while
Yeah.
and draw or watch a movie or
Yeah.
whatever, so that you can be by yourself.
Yeah.
And we have to normalize good, healthy connections. And even
Absolutely.
on those times when I need to step away, I'm
Mm-hmm.
honoring and respecting, who you are as a person.
Yeah.
And that means I expect the same thing from me too. And so
Yeah.
that might be me. I don't have kids walking on me in the shower anymore. I have 5 children, y'all. And I had to
Oh my
pop
goodness.
off. Maybe the baby, because he a thug. He ain't learned yet. But he will.
You be crip
He
walking into the
will. Yeah, coming in,
bathroom.
mama. Point at the toilet. Stop. Don't do that. But my older children, I'm like, there's no reason in the world why anybody over age 3 should be walking in on you naked while you're using a bathroom or doing any of this stuff, because we have to teach them boundaries and limitations and
Yeah.
respect. So
Yeah.
I've been known to grab that bottle of shampoo and pop it at the door, close the door. You know what I mean? Like, just lose your
You're
mind.
not
It only
right.
take about
You're
2
not
or 3
right.
times before they're like, my mama is crazy and I will not walk in on
I
her
will
in the
not
bathroom
test it.
anymore.
Right.
No more. I'm not gonna do it anymore. And that just helps to foster in them people need space. I can't go to the bathroom without you walking in. Like,
All I'm
can
gonna
you
say
not?
is, do not try this at home. Running
I
across the
said what
street.
I said. I ain't say hit the baby with the bottle of shampoo. I said hit the door. And they gonna say, oh my gosh, my mama is crazy.
Right.
But
Right.
there gotta be a happy medium,
Yeah.
of old school
Yeah.
mom with new school mom,
Yeah.
where, our mamas or mama, like, they will
Yeah.
have an all white living room. My
Yeah.
mother-in-law to this day has all lights colored living room. You bet not. And everybody would ask, how do you keep your white couch white? And she said, oh baby, they know better than to go in there. That's my sitting room. And she
Definitely.
ain't but
Yeah.
5'2", and you
Right.
better know she will
And
cut
no
you.
one goes in there. And if
Nobody
you do,
goes
you
in.
sneak in. And I look, my grandmother has that white room. And
See?
if I try to go in there with some
See?
pie, it don't matter how grown I am. I will, if I take a step, I'll be like,
You know what?
back out. I don't even do the turnaround because then I don't want nothing to just accidentally like spill.
Exactly.
Walk backwards.
Exactly. So, there's these boundaries. Everybody has a way that their mama wanted things.
Yeah.
Your children should be no less. They say,
Yeah.
my mama did not play about boom, boom, boom. She did
Yep.
not play about you just gonna leave your dish sitting there. You're gonna at
Yeah.
least put it in the sink. Even the 2-year-old can
Rant,
put his dish in the
rant it
sink.
off. Rant it off.
Rants. You better rants
Rant
that
it. Yeah,
dish.
rant that.
It represents it, so we have to, be loving enough to implement
Yeah.
those same things into our children,
Yeah.
say, all right, I want to build you up, but not at the cost of losing
Yeah.
myself, and that's what's
Absolutely.
important in our pursuit of peace.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to just ask if you have like a couple of tips. Like we have about 9 minutes,
Mhm.
but just share with us like a few tips that you have for in general, if they don't remember nothing else because they're busy and they got 50 million things to do, the kid been hitting them in the head with the shoe while they was
Yes.
trying to watch this. What
Yes.
are some things that you can recommend for our moms, our single moms, moms with, a spouse, to truly help them with managing their self-care, their stress, and
Mhm.
all of their responsibilities?
Well, I can think of a couple right off the top. Number one is what I call the Mamathon 5 tier to do list.
All
Okay.
right, all right.
And so the moral of this entire picture is envisioning yourself where you want to be in 5 years. Okay.
Okay.
This big, beautiful picture, however big it is, where are you going? What's the mission? What's the dream? Can you
Yeah.
envision yourself in this position? In 5 years, I'll be sending a kid off to college. Like, what is that about? It's
I
gonna
didn't
happen to
think
you
about
too.
it.
Like
I
you will
won't
not
think
be
about it.
ready.
I won't think
So,
about it.
in 5 years, my life is going to be making a shift, right? So, where do
Yeah.
I want to be in 5 years? And then we take that 5 year dream,
Hmm.
completely enthralled with how much money I want to make, the position I'm going to have, what kind of woman I'm going to be. And then we will
Hmm.
wind it all the way back to what do I need to work on this week and this month?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
So, what
good.
I
Yeah.
usually do with clients is we kind of map it out with bullet points, even. Okay. We're
Yeah.
going to, all right. So, 5 years, great. What do you need to be in 1 year?
Yeah.
Closer to that 5 year plan? Where do I need to be at the end of this quarter?
Right.
To get closer. Where do I need to be at the end of this month? We kind of rewind it all the way back. So,
Good.
but really start with that 5 year goal. And it can be as outrageous and as ridiculous as you want it to be. Have you never
Hmm.
run a day in your life, but now you want to do an ultra marathon? Write it down. I know your knees are a little special. Write it down. It's okay to dream big. Okay. So that's number one. Number two, you're silly. Number two is I would recommend declaring your home base zone. Okay. Your home base zone comes out of a book I have that's called The House That Cleans Itself by Mindy Starnes Clark. The
Okay.
House That Cleans Itself by Mindy Starnes Clark. And
Okay.
in the book, she talks about something called a home base zone. The
Hmm.
home base zone is that area of your home where when it's clean, you feel euphoric, you experience
Mm.
clarity, you love walking through it. And it's like, yeah, girl, I hooked that space up. You
Yes.
love this particular area. It could be in your room, it could be a closet, it could be your kitchen. For everybody, it may be something different, a different space.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I want to encourage you to clean it up. Whatever
Declutter.
space that is, clean it up. If there's clutter
Declutter.
there, pick the clutter up and move it to a different area. Just
Yeah.
get it together, okay? So
Yes.
in my home base zone, that's my living room, dining room area in my house, right?
Hmm.
I hate walking out in the morning and there's stuff everywhere. It's like oatmeal for my kids. I'm like, I don't even know why I had y'all,
Oh
like so I want to encourage especially the women, because husbands care but women really care, and a
no.
lot
Yeah.
of times our peace is disturbed by
Yeah. Our
things not
space.
being the way, because our space is
Yeah.
cluttered, and we're not be able to operate just visually. I don't feel
Yeah.
clarity there. And
Yeah.
so your home base zone is the area when it's clean, you feel clarity and euphoric,
Hmm.
but when it's dirty, you feel frustrated, stuck.
Yeah.
You're irritated by it. You may not even be
Yeah.
able to know that that's why you're irritated, but it
Hmm.
is. So
Yeah.
I want to encourage the ladies watching to clean up that area, okay? And
Yeah.
then demand that it stays that way.
Yep.
All right. Now my husband, it's almost 8 o'clock here in Alabama. I don't know what time he coming home tonight, okay? So because he's a barber, so everybody's getting club ready, even in the mask.
Oh
They going
no.
somewhere this weekend. So he works late Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights. Okay.
Hmm.
So when he walks in the door, though, I'm able to adjust my expectations. Some women say, "Oh, he came in, he dropped his shoes on the floor, his pants, whatever." It's not those two items. It's the
Yeah.
fact that everything in that area is
Yeah.
jacked up.
Yeah.
That now you're lashing out at him because he
Hmm.
dropped those one or two items. That's silly.
Hmm.
Instead, let's clean that area up.
Yeah.
And that one, his shoes on the floor does not bother me
Yeah.
because, everything else in that space is together.
Yeah.
And so, lastly, on the journey to, just experiencing more clarity and peace, really internalize what you want in terms of self awareness.
Yeah.
If you
Absolutely.
don't know what you want, no one can give it to you. if you don't know how to tell your children, leave me alone for this amount of time, they
Yeah.
won't know to give it to you. If you don't
Yeah.
train them on how to stay where they are for an hour or 2 hours and do
Yes.
not come in until I emerge from this interview, they will not know to do it.
So you mean to
Okay.
tell me you didn't have anybody doing it?
There's nobody out there babysitting my children. You bet not come in here while I'm still doing, it's just what it
Yes.
is. Mama
Yes.
working. Mama
Mama at work.
working, especially if, this is where we are now in terms of the
Yeah.
pandemic and everything,
You need
what
that
we have to do.
space.
You
Oh my
have to have that
goodness.
space. You have
I
to,
love it. I love
you
it. And
know.
just to even throw in there and add to what you were saying when you were
Mm,
talking about like the lastly, like making sure that you are really aware.
yeah.
To add to that is once you
Mm-hmm.
become aware, manage it.
Yes.
Self awareness does really good with self
Mm-hmm.
management. You
Yeah,
can't
that's
just know
good.
better and think you just gonna automatically do better. For
Mm-hmm.
those that are like sort of nerds like me, that's called the GI Joe fallacy theory. Just because you know better
Mm.
don't mean that you do better.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
make sure that you listen to these nuggets. Like we're gonna end up having to have you back on here
And I gotta
because
do
uh, we,
YouTube.
we need to have some more talks. But I am just so grateful for the nuggets. Y'all, if y'all forgot what she just said, I'm gonna make y'all go visit her. Y'all gotta go check her out
Come on.
because we not on here trying to stress ourselves out. Didn't I say
Mm-hmm.
it's almost time? We honor our
Yes.
time, okay?
Yes.
And it is 2 minutes to the hour. So how about this? Tell them in 1 minute
Yes.
how they can get in touch with you.
Okay, so you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at the Momathon Diaries. And you can always check out my services and events and all the awesome stuff at runningamamathon.com. We specialize in being a tribe of wise women who build, of helping professional women and mompreneurs to streamline and just get their whole life together without going completely gray.
Look,
So
and you
come find
got
me.
and you got 30 seconds because you got an event coming up. Tell them about your
I
event.
do. I do. So the Mamathon conference this year is going to be both virtual and in person.
All right.
We are taking a very small group of women into a gigantic ballroom at a beautiful 5-star retreat hotel. And we're just going to really break it down. We're going to run away from home because I think that's all they really want is to leave.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
even if you can only attend virtually, you can get your
Yeah.
ticket at runningamamathon.com, and we will be sending out self-care boxes to every attendee.
Yes.
So no matter how you attend,
Okay.
whether in person, you get digital
You get
and
it. You get it.
product swag. Yes. So we
Oh,
would love to connect with you guys and host you.
listen, visit her, check her out. And if you have any questions, you didn't get to write it down, visit us at SP, and I'm going to say www dot the
Mm-hmm.
official spconsultinggroup.com. That's www dot official spconsultinggroup.com. And guess what? We'll be back next Friday. So see you guys. It's the top of the hour. Thank you so much for being here, Miss Garrett. I so appreciate you.